All right, so I am back with another reaction video. And this one is a woman who says she apparently, not actually, broke up a marriage. Lack of accountability, anyone? Okay, Hard Talk Radio. Let's get into it.
We can hang out like the day after you get your COVID test results. So we tried to make plans and we talked for a few weeks, and he would text me pretty often, which was pretty impressive on its own. Like, I'm a girl that's like very easily impressed. So like, if you put in the absolute bare minimum of effort with me, I'm gonna think you're fucking amazing. And like, we would make plans and then I would like blow him off for whatever reason. Like, I wouldn't be feeling good, I was feeling paranoid, something came up with my family. After like the second time blowing off plans with him, I was like, he should go now. Like, he should save himself the embarrassment of dealing with somebody like me who can't make up their fucking mind. By the third time around that we made plans, I really felt bad because the day was coming up and I was like, I cannot go out with him. I am too paranoid about COVID. I don't know if I can do this. It's been such a long time since I've been on a date. I don't even know how to hold hands with somebody. I don't even know how to kiss anybody. I don't even know how to hug somebody. How do you hug somebody? And I was like, okay, I'm going to cancel, but I'm going to do something that's really out of the ordinary for me. And I'm not just going to ghost him. I'm going to actually call him up and let him know that I would like to ghost him. So I picked up the phone and I was just like, hey, and we're going to call him Jeff for the sake of this video. And one thing I will say about this guy is he had like a very calming energy.
How do you call somebody to want to ghost them? Why don't you just ghost? That's hence the point of ghosting.
Probably because he was a father. In a way, like verbally on the phone, he sat me down and was like, it's okay, like calm down, like I understand why you're feeling that way. And by the end of the conversation, we still had plans, and the plans had now become him coming to my house. So wait a minute, how did that even happen? I literally just called you so we could just end this and I can move on my merry way. And now all of a sudden, you're coming over. Master manipulator. He was a Scorpio moon after all. Should have known. And whenever I see...
No, because the reality is you're attracted to him and you wanted the D. That's it. Okay? That's basically it. You wanted the D. That's it. You didn't care about the fact that he was another woman's husband. Like I said, there is no girl code. There is no woman code. Okay? Women are kind of extremely vicious when it comes to men. Sometimes even worse than guys when it comes to dirty macking. She knew what she was doing, but she isn't willing to accept accountability. Let's keep going.
Placement now, I'm like, oh, nope, I am not speaking another fucking word to you. So he ended up coming over, and of course, you know, I'm just like a sucker for the small things. And this guy brought flowers and a bottle of Louvre, which is one of my favorite bottles of champagne. Did I start falling in love with him? No. But I did kind of start developing a little bit of like a, I might let that guy touch my shoulder. And which he did. He liked touching my shoulder that night. It was so fucking weird. He was like rubbing my shoulder at one point. I'm like, is this what the kids are doing these days? It was nice. You know, he was nice. We were talking about his kid. I expressed to him that him having a kid made me feel a little funny because I was a product of divorce and I did not want any like involvement in whatever.
Just to say, yeah, if you are, divorce does affect kids. They say, oh, it doesn't affect kids. Yes, it does. It does. It affects the kids. It affects their outlook on, life and marriage, and sometimes even their mental health, and can change them to be very aggressive. We could just look at Kurt Cobain for an example. Kurt Cobain's parents divorced when he was a very young kid, and it had an outlook on his life. It did. It had an outlook on his life. Just being real. And, women from divorced homes, single parent homes, it does affect them. And it does change them. People say divorce doesn't hurt kids. It does. It does. Whether you got out because the guy was abusive or the woman was abusive, it does affect kids. And they're into their adulthood. And a lot of kids who see their parents divorced don't want to get married either. Hence, this could also be a reason why she's so susceptible to dating married men.
Was going on with his ex and his kid. I did not want to be a part of that. And he was cool about it. He's like, yeah, like I wouldn't want you to meet her for like, unless we were dating for like 6 months or so. I was like, cool. Like if you never want me to meet her, that's also okay. And so we made plans again to hang out another time. And just as the last time, I had a panic attack before seeing him, and I ended up calling him, telling him that I'm not ready to date and that I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing this. It's as if I was just like telling him like, end this. Like, put me out of my misery. For the second date, he invited me over to his house, and he fucking tempted me. He knew that I really loved Christmas and Christmas decorating, and
he didn't tempt you. You went over there. You were a willing participant. I just love how sometimes, women will just make up these excuses. He tempted me. Yes, it was him. Bad married man. Bad.
He had seen that I had done a really nice job decorating my house for Christmas. So the way that he tempted me, like a zookeeper does a lion with a piece of steak, he was like, why don't you come over to my house? I'll make you dinner and you can help me decorate the tree. And I was like, oh, you got me there. I'll be there in 5. I ended up going over to his house, and when I got there, I did not realize that he did not have any decorations at all, and that we would have to go to Home Depot to go and pick up decorations. And I was like, oh, so, I'm like paranoid about the pandemic, and like we're gonna go to a massive hardware store. Love that. You've definitely been listening to my feelings. So I was like, okay, well, this is a very interesting date. I drove an hour to this man's house. Now he's taking me to Home Depot. And now I am supposed to make decisions about decorating his house. It was like an out-of-body experience. So I was trying to give him some advice, but he wasn't very receptive to it. I'm a very flashy person. I'm a go big or go home type of gal. So it's like, if you don't want a 12-foot light-up, blow-up Santa Claus in your yard, then maybe you've asked the wrong person to come and help you. So anyway, we picked up some decorations. We ended up going back to his house. And then he told me, he was like, oh, one of my friends wants to meet up with us for drinks. And I was like, oh, so like not only did we go to Home Depot and like possibly expose ourselves to everybody and their fucking mothers, we are now going to go to a bar with your friend. But I'm passive aggressive and I'm a pushover and I can't speak for myself. So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, we can do that. That's totally fine. But inside I was like, wow, this might be my final week on earth. So, at that point, I had like a few drinks. So I was just like, whatever. You know what? I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. If I die, I die. We got back to his house and then we were decorating. And he was like on his phone, listening to music. And I'm like up on a...
For a woman who says she was tempted and it's all his fault, you sure were comfortable going with a married man to Home Depot and, just hanging out with a married man and about to get smashed. Just saying.
Fucking ladder, putting up things, risking my life. I'm little, and you're just standing there letting me do this. You're not even holding the ladder. You're not even holding me up. That was like a huge, like major turnoff for me. The fact that he was like not stepping in and helping me out. We did end up afterwards going out for drinks with one of his friends who was also an older gentleman with children. I felt really out of place. Like I felt like a child. And then after that second date that we had, there was like 2 or 3 days that he ignored me and he didn't text me. And I started to feel like, oh my God, like I miss him. Like, why is he reaching out to me? I started spiraling. And then finally he reached out to me. He's just like, hey, like I felt like the energy was off between us and you pretty much confirmed it by not texting me these past few days. And I was like, you didn't text me. So then after that, I was like, okay, well, let's like hang out. Because at that point I was frustrated. I was like, you ignored me for a few days and I feel like I like you now because you played this fucking mind game with me. So we ended up going out that third and final time. From the moment I stepped foot in his house and I was like, okay, and I'm going to sleep over this guy's house. Like, I really fucking like him now. Like, he got in my head. This is on. Game on, baby. So I went to his house and his cleaning lady was there, which was weird. I was like, oh, great. Like, I'm exposed to another person. Come on, dude. Like, I thought we were both playing it safe and we were both quarantined. quarantine, but you're like around people all the time. And honestly, like the night was okay. He made me dinner. He was a really good cook. I'll give him that. But I don't know. The vibes were off. The vibes were weird. Within a couple hours of me being at his house, in my head, I figured out that I didn't actually like him and that I only wanted him because I wanted him to want me. So it's cool that I had that moment, that I had that realization about him, but it happened at a really awkward time when I was like supposed to be sleeping over this guy's house. So I ended up sleeping over his house. I didn't sleep that entire night. I laid there. I laid in this bed just like literally checking my phone every like hour, like, oh my God, like when the fuck can I get out of here? Like I just want to go home. And then the most amazing fucking thing happened. He woke up at like 6:30 and he's like, hey, like I hate to do this to you, but my daughter's coming over really early and I'm gonna need you to leave early. And I was like,
what a lot of these women don't understand, when you mess with a married man, you are somebody to, how do I put this? You're treated in a way that somebody you don't want to be seen with. Okay? You're messing with someone that's in a relationship, a committed relationship. She's not understanding, when you mess with a married man, you are the side piece, and the side piece is kept to the side. Okay? When anybody's brought around, that anybody could possibly, that the married man knows, like his daughter or his wife, you're put to the side. It's like you're like a toy that's put in the closet, until ready to be played with again. And she's not getting that. I don't, and she's just very, just a loaf, not socially aware. This is hard.
sucks. Aw. It's okay. I'll get up. So I like literally shot up out of bed. I was like getting ready, putting my clothes on. And as I was leaving, he's like, oh, I just got a text. They're running a little bit late. Do you want to go get breakfast? And I was just like, literally give me a gun and put me out of my fucking misery. I'm a problem. This is why I'm single and I should never date, because I have such a fucking hard time communicating like my thoughts and feelings with people. But it's just because I hate awkward situations and I hate hurting people's feelings. And like I would prefer to be ghosted than for somebody to tell me what's actually wrong with me. So that's why I sometimes tend to ghost people, because it's just like I feel like it's easier. I do the slow fade, like just kind of hope that they move on their own. But sometimes they don't, and it's very fucking aggressive. And that's what this guy did, because after that final date, he would still hit me up constantly to hang out. And at that point, I really fully committed to my quarantine. The cases had gone up. This was like now after the holidays. So the cases were like skyrocketing. This was like the huge second wave of the pandemic that they were talking about. And so I used that as an excuse. And at one point I even told him, I was like, hey, like I'm not leaving my house. I'm not hanging out with anybody. He was kind of understanding about it because he knew that I have a condition. But there was one time that he did give an attitude about the fact that I didn't want to hang out with him because of COVID, even though the real reason is because I didn't want to hang out with him. Hey guys, it's editing Stephanie. Just popping in to say I'm editing right. Fake looking account from a 21-year-old fashion blogger girl. She messaged me and she said, hey, I went out with this guy, Jeff. He seemed really, really shady, and I just wanted to like reach out to you and let you know like my experience. And he said that he dated you and that you broke up his marriage. And I just thought he was a really shady guy. So just like wanted to like reach out to you and see what your experience was. And I was just like, what the fuck? Broke up a marriage? Like he was separated from his ex-girlfriend that he had a kid with. Like what? Like I didn't break up any. I went out with this guy a few times. And then also I was like, ew, this fucker's name dropping me. Like that's so fucking tacky. My camera died. So now we are doing this on my phone, which is fine. That really threw me for a spin. I saw that message. I screenshotted it. I sent it to my friends and I was like, what the hell? I think what really freaked me out the most is that like this guy went on a date, but he went out on a date with like a 21-year-old, which is fucking gross. And then he actually, during that first date, felt the need to bring it up and say something that was a complete fabrication. So I don't know. I don't know if this like fake account was him just trying to get information, or was it genuinely like a 21-year-old girl he went on a date with? I don't know. But I think this whole entire experience taught me a very valuable lesson. Sometimes you just have to go with your gut instinct, you know? Like, I think that I really don't give enough credit to my intuition, because the entire time that
I'm just going to say she's just full of crap. And the fact is, women will sometimes lie to themselves to make them feel absolved of any guilt. You went out with a man. I was married. Okay. And you try to feel like you didn't do anything. But we all know that sometimes women just don't want to take accountability when it comes to certain actions they commit. And that's just it. Female nature. All right. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.